very happy as Uptale to share with you this testimony of a client. So my name is Tien. I'm the head of expertise for Uptale, and I'm in Uptale since the beginning. So just a quick tour of introduction about Uptale. Who are we? So we are a startup in the edtech industry. We existed since 2017, and so it's been around almost 8 years now that we are in this market. And since the beginning, you can see a few figures on the screen right now. Our main point and our main philosophy is to make immersive technology as a real modality in terms of training accessible for everyone. And as you can see, since 8 years, we have really I think we are in the good way for this mission. From the beginning, we have done with the help of our platform. Our client has done almost 1 million training sessions that was launched from VR experience with Uptale. More than 20K experience were created using our technology. We work now with more than 300 customers, big companies all around the world, as you can see, L'Oréal, Alstom, Total, etc., etc. And as we are a French startup, but we are quite international. We have some offices in New York, in Singapore also, since 2 years now. We are a preferred partner with some of the biggest providers of VR technology and XR technology, like Lenovo, Meta, and some big companies about consulting, like Accenture and all. So just to explain in a few words what we are doing in Uptale, the idea of Uptale is really to provide you, the people who has the knowledge, a platform that will allow you to create this type of training, so immersive training. The idea is that we have a web platform, so you don't need to have a powerful computer to make it work. Everyone has the possibility to create this type of training because it's a no-code platform. You don't need to be a developer or a graphist to use it. It's really a do-it-yourself platform, and we also thought about everything about the deployment at scale from this type of training, because everyone knows that using VR is not something that is easy for everyone, but our technology and the choice of technology we have done allows you to share this type of training on all devices so that you are sure that everyone can benefit from the impact of this type of training. And so in MTA, and I will now give the mic to Lorne because the testimony from Lorne will be very interesting. So we work now, I think, since 1 year with MTA, and they have already done a lot of very interesting things. So I will give the mic to Lorne to explain to you a bit more about their use case in using Uptale for their training.
So I'm Lorne Lieb. I work for Metro North Railroad, which is an agency within the MTA, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority. We are a state authority in the state of New York, and we are located primarily in New York City, but our railroad services Westchester, services Connecticut, services the Hudson Valley, and we bring our customers from those places to New York City, and we bring New York City folks out to those places. We are called a commuter railroad, but we prefer a regional railroad. We do a lot of back and forth. We do a lot of off-peak service as well. So under the MTA, our railroad is part of that. Also New York City Transit, which is the subway system you may have heard about, and Long Island Railroad, and also Bridges and Tunnels, which operates the tunnels and the bridges in the New York metro area. Metro North Railroad, we have a ridership of about 6 million per year. We have about 300,000 folks who ride our service per day. And we operate about 800 trains a day. We are the biggest railroad, commuter railroad in North America, and we rival with Long Island Railroad for that title. But I think right now we have it. They might tell you something different, but don't believe them. We have 787 miles of track, and that's 124 stations, and we have about 7,000 employees. And most of those employees are operating employees that work to maintain our track, operate our trains, fix our equipment, keep our stations clean, and move people from place to place. And so I work in the operations training department, and as part of the strategy and innovation division, we we create the videos, the interactive media, the e-learning, all of the multimedia tools that help our instructors teach our employees how to be safe on the railroad, how to best do their jobs, how to operate the trains, how to fix the trains. And so we create a lot of that stuff that they use in the classroom. Our department trains all of the different departments within the railroad: safety, transportation, maintenance of way, maintenance of equipment, and we have trainers that go out into all of the areas of our railroad. We have shops and yards across the New York area. And so our training is hands-on, it's in the field, it's in the classroom, and it's also digital. So prior to using VR, we had a lot of videos, we have a lot of e-learning, we had paper job aids, we had digital job aids, we had websites with material on them, and we began to look for a next innovative step. And we thought that VR would be the next step for that. So some of the challenges that we faced going into our search for a VR solution were communicating potentially fatal consequences of not following our procedures. This is something that we struggle with all the time. We're teaching procedures, we're teaching how to do something, how to do it safely, and communicating the importance of following those procedures is a challenge. We can make dramatic videos, we can have disturbing photos of consequences, we can have our instructors tell stories that our employees can connect with, real stories, but we wanted something more to solve some of the incidents that we were seeing, and we thought VR might be that thing. Another challenge we were facing was simulating realistic negative customer interactions. We have conductors out on the front lines, we have station agents on the front lines, and like any any customer-facing type of business, we have good customer interactions and we have bad customer interactions. And so we wanted to help train our conductors and our station agents on how best to handle those negative customer interactions. And some of the ways, we'll talk about some of the ways we have done that, but they were leaving our employees, they were leaving our trainers feel that there might be a better way to best communicate how to deal with those situations. Accessing in-demand equipment for training. A lot of our trains, a lot of our maintenance machines are being used. We're a railroad, so all that equipment is on the tracks, out on a job. It's moving people. It's resurfacing track. It's not available for a half a day for us to bring a training class to teach them on how to use it, or it is in the yard, but it's in the yard because it needs to be repaired, so it's not going to function in the way that our class needs it to function. So we were thinking VR is a great way for us to familiarize our students initially with a piece of equipment, and then they can go out and be more familiar when they actually get to touch the real thing. And another challenge we were facing was teaching safety procedures in hazardous environments. The railroad is a hazardous environment. There's no way about that. And teaching students how to perform their jobs safely is something that we can do in the classroom, but teaching them in the environment in which they're going to perform that particular task is another thing that we can do on our railroad, but we have to do it safely to make sure that students who are just learning how to do a certain procedure don't get hurt, don't get killed. So we thought VR was a great way to allow students to perform those jobs, practice those procedures in an environment that is their railroad, looks like the place where they would perform that task, and go through the procedures to become familiar so that when they do go out in the field, they are more confident in their abilities and can work with a trainer out in the field, and that's not the first time that they've gone through these procedures. So when we began to look for a VR solution, we wanted something tailored to our situation and our railroad. There's any number of off-the-shelf products we could have bought, but they wouldn't be our trains, they wouldn't be our track or our yard, and they wouldn't be our safety procedures. So we would have endlessly been telling a student, oh, well, ignore that or ignore this, or that's not really how we do it. This is how we do it. And we didn't want that situation. We wanted our solution to be affordable. And like I mentioned, we are a government authority. We are funded by the state of New York and our customers. And so we needed our solution to be affordable because we are always in a budget crunch. I don't think there's ever been a time when we haven't been in a budget crunch. We also wanted ease of use was very important, both from a programming perspective and from a distribution and implementation perspective. I am not a super coder, so I was not looking to get myself into learning code. I did teach myself C# to use Unity, but I'm still not an expert. And when we roll out the courses, we're a small team. So I have two other people working with me, and we rely on our trainers in the field to facilitate the use of the VR goggles with their students, and so we needed it to be seamless. We didn't want to be getting calls, every couple hours. Hey, Lorne, how do I make this work? How do I get into the course? It's giving me this question. We wanted it to be seamless, and that was very important. We also wanted to be able to produce the courses in-house. We do have a small team, and we are experienced with video and with e-learning, and we thought those skills were very applicable to creating 360 photo and video VR, and it turns out they are. And we liked that we could produce our own content on our railroad and then also update it. We've been in situations with vendors where they have produced a course for us, and then a rule changes, and well, that's going to be several months before we get the course updated, and perhaps prohibitively expensive to go back and change something. And we wanted a solution that we could just go back in, change something, and send it back out, and it would be done. We also wanted to find some group that had strong customer support for us in developing courses, and support in case we ran into any issues, but also that we felt that they were also developing their software and forward-looking, instead of a company that might have developed something and just they're going to sit on that and not innovate. Those were all the things that we were thinking about as we were approaching how to find a solution. And luckily we partnered with Uptale, and we feel that they matched all of those for us. So I'm going to show you I guess a little montage of the two courses that we've produced so far. And then I'll go into the two different use cases for those. So I think I can play this for you.
You are the conductor of train 611, departing Grand Central Terminal at 8:18 a.m. I'm sorry, but bicycles are not allowed on this train.
Never mind. The ticket takers don't know what you're doing. What?
I'm sorry, but this bicycle is not allowed on the train because it's a safety hazard.
Last week, you guys gave me no problem with my bike. Yesterday, I had no problem with my bike. I'm not going to be late to a meeting that I have at 8:30. I will fucking murder you. I will punch you right in that fucking stupid skull of yours. There's no chance of getting off this train. Fucking go ahead, call the cops. I will fucking kill you, motherfucker.
How's it looking, Kevin?
Well, they were right. There's a couple broken clips on track 2 that we got to replace.
Well, that's not bad. It should be a quick fix, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, so let's take a look, guys.
All right, good.
All right.
All right, kid, come on, let's go. We're good to go.
Everybody good with that?
I'm okay with that.
Bam, safety briefing done. You guys get to work. I'll paddle.
Hey, slow down a little bit. You know how they are with safety. We got to document this. They're always checking paperwork.
Train! Hey, you guys are good. He's on one. Don't worry. All good. All good. They want you to stop every time a train is going by. Whenever you do that, the job's just going to take longer. The longer you're out here, the more likely something's going to happen. So like I said before, kid, get in, get out. Oh shit! Oh shit! Look out!
I should have given a language warning on that. Apologies. Yeah, we wanted it to be realistic, and our employees seem to appreciate that. So, you know, that's where that ends with the language. So, here the steps that we took to implement VR at Metro North. We identify it's similar to the steps that we take to create an e-learning course or even make a training video. We identified our needs. We figured out where the training gaps were and the operational challenges were. And we worked with our subject matter experts. Within the operations training department, we have a program development unit that has transportation experts, maintenance of way experts, maintenance of equipment experts, and we worked with them on these designing the scenarios and coming up with what would be authentic for our employees and what would be a real situation. And then we went to the VR development and came up with what the interactions would be, and used our in-house talent. Those were all Metro North employees as the actors to produce the piece, and then implementation. And we brought it out into our training programs, and I'll go into a little more detail about that. So our first use case. So we have a number of different ways for our employees to protect themselves while working on our tracks. One of them is called train approach warning. And what our leadership had noticed after a number of incidents was that train approach warning was being used in a number of near misses or operational incidents, and they wanted it to be solved. They did not want that sort of situation anymore. So our program development group came up with a way to address that, and a qualification course was created to employees would have to be qualified in order to use train approach warning. And our leadership wanted to have a VR experience as part of that course. So we worked to design that, and I worked with our program development group to come up with scenarios. We wrote scripts, and we came up with a couple scenarios of how of the scared straight, which is the piece you saw, and then after the scared straight video, there is a section where the employee is asked to use the 8 critical thinking questions that allows them to go through in a procedure, set up train approach warning properly. So they practice going through those in a scenario, in a work scenario that seems familiar, is on our railroad, and they make the decisions about whether they can use it, where the place of safety is, and they figure out how far they are from their landmarks and the speed of the trains. And these are all the steps that they're required to do when setting up train approach warning. But because those steps weren't outlined prior to this qualification course, people took shortcuts, mostly because they didn't understand the protection properly. But this allowed them to practice each step on their own. And also the Scared Straight video really brought it home for people, why this is important, why they should care, why they should pay attention and do these 8 steps before they put themselves and their track crew at risk. So we have incorporated this VR experience into the train approach warning qualification course, and we've used it with track, with power, with signal roadway workers in charge, and also in our transportation group for the conductor flags, who do a similar job while working with contractors on our rails. And so far we've trained about 200 employees with this course, and we look to, for the rest of the year, we'll probably end up around 500 with this particular course. And then next year, the plan is to incorporate it in new roadway worker in charge courses and new conductor flag course. So right now we're doing folks who have already been in the field, and next year we'll start with the new ones. And let me move on to the next slide. So what we liked about using the VR in this particular course is that it allows us to do training anytime, anywhere, and it creates a safe environment for the training, and allows them to make mistakes. So it allows our employees to try to set up the procedure, and if they make a mistake or if they don't follow the procedure correctly, they get an audio or text response instead of getting a train in their face, which we think is fantastic. It allows them to practice the procedure as many times as they want. And then when they go out in the field with their trainer, then they've practiced the procedure 1, maybe 2 times, and they are very familiar with it. And then they can do it in real life. It also allows them to make individual decisions. If you've ever been in a group class, you know that the instructor might ask the whole class a question, and maybe the whole class answers together, maybe one person says it, but they're not going around and asking each person to do every single step. This VR course allows our employees to individually make the decisions on their own and decide at every single step what is the right thing to do. And it prepares them for being out in the field. They're not going to have the whole class there answering the questions when they're out in the field. They're going to be on their own making these decisions. And so the VR in their headset allows them to make that decision. It also standardizes the experience. It was important for our leaders to know that every employee got a similar experience. And that's what the VR experience course does. It gives them the way to practice in the same way as every other employee. And so we know that after they've done that, they've done the same experience. Our other use case, the customer interaction for conductors, we wanted to create something that would help conductors practice their de-escalation techniques and interactions with aggressive customers. What we had was role-play scripts and open-ended videos that would sort of show an interaction that was getting aggressive coming to a point, and then the video would end and the class would have a discussion, which I think is a valuable tool. But didn't allow the employee to be on the receiving end of that aggression. The scripts tried to help with that, but when you're reading a script with a fellow student, the fellow student really is probably not going to get into it and be super aggressive at you. And if they do, you've been with that student for weeks now, and you know they're not an aggressive person, and so you're not intimidated, or you kind of think it's funny, right? So we wanted to create a situation where an aggressive customer was in the face of an employee, and the VR was an excellent way to do that. And here's an aggressive customer in a biker outfit that is right in your face, and they get to make the decisions about how to handle that. In this particular case, we partnered with we worked with our subject matter experts to create a realistic scenario, and also what the appropriate responses would be. Our employees can make choices, and it goes to a different reaction depending on the choice they make. So if it sort of ratchets up the level of anger depending on their choices. Or if they decide to walk away, they might get anger from another customer who is, she tried to bring on her bike the other day and didn't get a chance to do that. So why are you giving this person a pass? So that we wanted to make it realistic. And we've had several classes of conductors go through this, new hire conductors, and they were excited to do it. They hadn't experienced angry customers yet. They will, but now they have been given the experience to make choices about what to do. We'll be also rolling that out for our current conductors when they come back for their yearly training, and also it's been used for reinstruction for conductors that have had incidents with customers. So for all of the for the train approach warning, we partnered with Uptale, and it was a great partnership. We did a co-production where they came and helped us with the filming, and we have our own 360 camera, but we really were excited to work with them to see best practices for 360 production, and also it allowed us to focus on the content and to make sure that the acting was great and the lines were correct, and that we were videotaping and photographing all the correct things. And then we worked with Uptale's instructional design team, which was also a great experience. They really helped us see what was possible in VR and what was not possible in VR, and helped us through developing an excellent course. And using the platform has been great also. It's very straightforward, easy to use, and whenever we have any questions, Uptale has been very responsive, getting back to us. And it allows us to manage the headsets and have everything ready to go in the class when the class is ready, and not after several logins and several delays. It's ready to go, and it just works, and it's fantastic. We've been able to integrate VR production into our other production workflows. So, like I said, we do video and other production, and it's a seamless integration for us to create more VR courses. And after the success of these two, as you can imagine, we have been inundated with requests for more VR courses. So we will be working on those. So far, the results have been pretty good. We've been using VR in classes for about 3.5 months, and employees have been very excited. I think it sort of splits between employees who have experience with VR and are excited that, oh wow, I didn't realize I was working for such an innovative company, to employees who have never used VR and are looking at it like, what is this? I repair the track and you're bringing me this weird headset. And after they use it, they come out smiling. And, it was pretty exciting to see a room full of grizzly, somewhat jaded, but, uh, track employees coming out smiling. And they appreciated that we were taking the time to create a course like totally tailored to them. And we got surveys back, and these were surveys for the entire course, but in the section where you can write something, pretty much the only thing that people wrote on almost every survey was the VR was the greatest, and they were so excited about that. And I also have had ideas coming from all of the classes that have taken the VR. Oh, you should do this. You should do a VR course on that. And so we're collecting all of these and prioritizing them and working with our program development group to see if we can make it all happen. But everyone's got some great ideas. So that's been exciting. And so we are continuing. Our future plans are to create more VR courses. And hopefully, it takes a while to get them going, but we will try to get more going, and rolling it out to all of our locations. We have training locations all over the New York metro area, in Connecticut as well. And so creating sort of putting headsets at a location, making sure they work, making sure those trainers are trained on how to use them, and just putting it everywhere so that training can be incorporated into our classes right away is our next step. And we are continuing to work with Uptale. This first year has been great, and we hope to continue that relationship into a second and future years. So they've been very supportive of our work, and we appreciate that. I think there's that last slide. Oh yeah, there we go. So that's me. So I'm happy to take questions at the end. I know Tian is going to do a little bit now, but yeah, I'm Camille, am I taking questions now or at the end?
So thank you, Lorne. It was a very, very interesting testimony, and very nice to see the result of it. It was a real pleasure to work with you and be there to support you on this use case. My part will be more to tell you a bit more, because we have the pleasure of working with MTA, but we also work with other companies in the same type of industry, so railroad and all. So the idea for me will be to show you just other use cases on other companies. Some of them are French, of course, as we are French by default. So you will probably see some things written in French, but do not be afraid. I will try to translate it to you. First case that I would talk to you about, probably you heard about this company. Let me verify. Okay. We have Alstom, so that's quite a big company that produces trains. In fact, it's one of the biggest companies that produce trains. Alstom is one of our oldest, I think, one of our oldest clients. We work with them since more than 5 years now, and they use Uptale since quite a long time. So I let you, I will not be there to just tell you all the different KPIs, but what's interesting is that we are working with them since a long time, and so they have done more than 300 VR experience created by themselves. It's really a company that has taken the Uptale technology to their really by themselves and become autonomous in using it. I will just show you an example of something that is quite close to what you have seen, but something that was created by them, just to show you things here.
Welcome to the virtual world.
The idea of this experience was
Here,
something that we
Google-
discovered
Your
after.
supervisor is waiting for
They
you
have
to
done by
start
themselves.
work. Do you see the team
I
on
let
the
you
other side?
find
Hurry
the
up and join them. You are
you will
late.
find the surprise on it. I was quite a bit afraid for their camera when they showed us that. I don't know how they have put their 360 camera, but well, why not? This one was an experience about EHS on tracks for people who works exactly the same subject as for Lorne, but it's also the same kind of subject, the same kind of issue that every train or railroad company can have.
You didn't hold to the handrail.
So everything
down
you
or
need to
guard
know
right.
when you work near any railroad. I will stop here the video because it's quite long, or I will just cut down the sound a bit just to explain to you a bit more. But Alstom has done a lot of different other use cases. Of course, this one is one of the use cases that exist, but they have done use cases about maintenance, about safety onboarding, safety visits, everything about engineering also, a lot of procedure. They have done even soft skills training for more for their salespersons, so negotiation, even use cases about I don't know about sorry, my English is sometimes a bit difficult, but everything about making people aware about awareness about any soft skills and all discussing about with people, etc., etc. So there's a lot of different use cases that they have done since the time. And one thing interesting with Alstom is that they have really integrated the VR training as a modality in their learning university. So it's really integrated inside their learning management system, so that allows all of their employees all around the world to access the content. So directly from the learning management system. And as the Uptale technology is accessible on any type of device, they can see it on VR headset, on smartphone, computer, or tablets, etc., etc. They have created their own VR academy in different places around the world. So it's quite one of the biggest clients that we have that works, that have really taken the XR technology, the VR technology for themselves.